welcome to my class. So today I am going to discuss the topic called formal and informal organization. The first one is formal organization. Formal organization refers to the structure of organization structure created by the management, each having a definite authority and responsibility relationship in order to achieve the organizational goals and objectives. So, formal organization is the structure to which every employee has to adjust it based on the rules and regulation, pattern of behavior and channels of communications to be followed by all. Okay? Formal organization consists of three important points. The first one is rules and regulation. Rules and regulation. Second one is pattern of behavior. Pattern of behavior. And third point is channels of communication. Okay? The first one is rules and regulation. So rules and regulation means what is to be done, what not is to be done, or in simple, what to do and what not to do in an organization. Okay? Second one is pattern of behavior. Pattern of behavior indicates that how the employees behave in an organization, how the employees are performing in an organization, or how the employees are working in an organization. That we call it as pattern of behavior. And the third one is channels of communication. How the employees are communicating in organizations, right? How they need to interact in an organization. For some organizations, so we do not have any kind of authorities in order to communicate with top level management. So first we have to go and we have to interact with divisional managers, and the divisional managers will convey our issues or our problems with the top level management. So that channels we call it as channels of communications, right? So formal organization consists of certain rules and regulations which is framed by top level management, and there is a certain pattern of behavior how the employees are behaving in an organization, and third important point is how they need to communicate in an organizations. Okay, so that is all about formal organization. So let us discuss what are all the features of formal organization. Features of formal organization. The first one is superior subordinate relationship. So formal organization specifies the superior subordinate relationship in an organization. Then who is superior, who is subordinate? So superior act as a leader in organization, right? So he will supervise his activities or he will supervise the work to the subordinate. And who is subordinate? Subordinate is nothing but employees, those who will work in an organization, right? So they will work in an organizations according to the directions which is given by superior, right? So that kind of relationship we call it as superior and subordinate relationship or superior subordinate relationship. Here superior act as a guider or motivator or leader, right? So he will above him, and the subordinate he will under superior. superior. That's why we will under him. So that kind of relationship we call it as superior and subordinate relationship. Next one. Achieves objectives. So formal organization act as the base in order to achievement of all kinds of goals and objectives in an organization, because it will give some path or it will show some platform where I need to communicate to whom, right, and also how I need to perform in an organization, how I need to behave in an organization, what are the rules and regulations I need to follow in an organization, right? So if you follow all those systems, right, then only we can easily achieve the all kinds of goals and objectives in an organization. That is the second feature of formal organization. Next, third one is achieves coordination. So formal organization act as a link in order to maintain a good coordination among the department or between one department to another department, right? So in an organization we have n number of employees, right? So their background, their perception, their thinking capabilities are vary from one individual to another individual. So in order to achieve the goals and objectives, they all are work together in order to achieve those things, right? So in order to working together or in order to maintain a unity in an organization, we have to maintain a good coordination between superior and subordinate. There should be a good communication or there should be a good interaction between one department to another department, as well as it should have within the department in an organization. That we call it as achieves coordination. Next, the fourth features of formal organization is impersonal. So, in case of formal organizations, there is no personal interaction between superior and subordinate. So, always they will talk about organizational aspects, always they will talk about organizational goals and objectives. Here, they will not share any kind of personal things or they will not share any kind of personal problems between them. So, here, there is no personal interaction or there is no personal communication between superior and subordinate. If they talk means always that is related to organizational work. Okay, so these are the important features of formal organization. The first one is superior subordinate relationship, second one is achieves objectives, third one is achieves coordination, fourth one is impersonal. So once again I repeat, so through formal organizations we will maintain a good relationship with superior and subordinate. All the activities which will flow from superior to subordinate. Superior in the sense leader, subordinates in the sense employees, right? Next, through formal organization we can easily achieve all kinds of goals and objectives, because it will show the rules and regulations, it will show the pattern of behavior, as well as it will show the channels of communication. Okay, and third one is through formal organization we can easily maintain a good coordinations, not only between department as well as within department. And here there is no personal connectivity or personal interaction, or there is no personal bonding between superior and subordinate. All the things which is related to organizational things or organizational activities. So this is all about features of formal organization. The next topic is advantages of formal organization. Advantages of formal organization. So the first advantage of formal organization is fixation of responsibility. Fixation of responsibility. So through formal organization we can easily fix the responsibilities to all the individuals, those who work in an organization, right? So all the employees, we can easily give some responsibilities, and it is a duty or it is a responsibility of the employees that they have to perform in an organization, which is the directions which is given by superior, which is given by manager. So that is called fixation of responsibility. The second advantage of formal organization is clear job positions. Clear job positions. So here there is no confusions in the mind of employees or individuals, because the all kinds of doubts or all kinds of complexities which will be cleared by superior, right? He will give some directions or he will give some instructions. So according to that instructions, the employees will work. So obviously the superior will clear their job positions and he will give their jobs, he will give some kind of roles and responsibilities, right? So according to that, the employees will work in an organizations without facing any kind of burden or restrictions. Next, the third important advantage is unity of command. Unity of command. So, in case of formal organizations, we are going to follow the superior subordinate relationship, right? So, all the instructions or all the activities which will flow from one superior to different individuals. If any employee receives the instructions from two or more superior, means it leads to getting some confusions, right? Which one, what kind of work I need to perform first and which one I should ignore. So, in order to avoid these kinds of confusions, always we need to follow one principle. That principle is we call it as unity of command. This is the command or the instructions which will flow from one superior to one subordinate. Next one is stability. So, if we adopt formal structure or formal organizations in our organization, so obviously we can survive for longer period of time. It can stay for longer period of time, because every activities which will be done by top level management, every things which will be follow certain rules and regulations, follow certain procedures and for certain systems and all. So here there is no what we call that. Here there is no kind of impersonal things, or here there is no kind of restrictions, or here there is no kind of personal talks between employees and all. So every employee, they should work according to the organizational rules and regulations. They should perform in an organization, and their job is to complete all kinds of goals and objectives. So these are the important advantages of formal organization. So once again I will repeat. The first one is, through formal organization we can easily fix the roles and responsibilities to all the individuals in an organization. And second advantage is, here there is no confusions in the mind of employees, because all the confusions which will be erased by superior. Next one is unity of command. So here we are going to follow one principle. That principle we call it as unity of command, means all the instructions which will be flow from one superior to different individuals. And the last one is stability. So if we follow the formal organizations, so it leads to stable for longer period of time. Okay. Next. So for any concept, there is some advantages as well as there is some drawbacks. So let us discuss what are the disadvantages of formal organization. Disadvantages of formal organization. The first drawback is delays in decision making. Delays in decision So routine decision we can take easily without consulting top level management. But in case of major decision, always it will be taken by top level management. So that act as a drawback here, because all the time we can't wait for the top level management, right, or management, right? Because it will consume more number of time as well as more number of days, right? So that act as a drawback here, because here the employees will not have any kind of independent, or they will not have any kind of authorities in order to take their own decisions. So in order to take some kind of certain decision, they have to consult the top level management, and finally top level management they will take such kind of decisions and all. Okay. Next, kills creativity. So another important drawback of formal organizations is we're gonna kill the creativity of employees, because we are not giving any kind of opportunities or platform where they can recognize their talent, because everything which will be done by top level management, right? The rules and regulations, the plans, the decision making authorities, everything which will be held by top level management. So in such scenarios, the employees they need to implement the plan which are framed by top level management. So that's where we're gonna kill such kind of employees' creativities if we followed formal organizations in our organization. Next, the last drawback of formal organization is avoidance of personal problems of personnel. So in case of formal organization, there is no personal contact or there is no personal interaction between superior and subordinate. For example, if any employee have some issues regarding salary or regarding organizational structures and all, so they can't straight away, they will not go and they will discuss all those matters with the top level management, because they will not kind of any kind of authorities and all, right? So in such cases, it will be a burden for the employees that they are not working in an organization, because they are not satisfied with that kind of job. So they want to quit the job and they will move on to another organization, because they are not have any kind of independent, they are not any kind of freedoms and all, right? So if we give some kind of platform in order to raise their issues or in order to solve their problems and all that, definitely they will satisfy such kind of job. But here we will not do such kind of things. So that act as a drawback here. So these are the important disadvantages of formal organization. Okay. The first one is delays in decision making. Second one is skills creativity, and third one is avoidance of personal problems of personnel.